r/AskReddit. Pompous Dude says, what petty, inconsequential internet argument are you 100% confident you are correct on, that you got dogpiled on for? Jab2Hooks says, I said that I disagreed with people saying that if they were in front of God they'd tell him all kinds of things like you better apologize to me God. Or they'd tell God to frick off. More than likely they'd be terrified. If we were to die and turns out there is a God, then I'm pretty confident most of us would be scared, cause who wouldn't be? You're in front of a being that is not like us and will most likely send us to hell. Of course that brought out all the angry atheists who started having a meltdown saying God doesn't exist blah blah blah. I said I'm not arguing if he exists or doesn't. I'm arguing if he did and you were in front of him, you'd be scared. You wouldn't be telling him off. Man in Black 829 says, ironically, this is only petty and inconsequential if you don't believe in God and heaven. Lordran Melon Farmer says, people who ask contrived questions are just looking for a shortcut to role-playing, being a smart or intellectual person, much like people who constantly play devil's advocate. Gene Ravenclaw says, not on the internet, but in physics we had an exam, and one of the questions was in a real life situation. Why wouldn't the train be traveling as fast as your answer in Parter? The answer was friction, but my brain was so dead that I wrote, because traveling too fast would be unsafe. I still stand by my answer, while my friends laugh, and I all over it. Sugandis 1000 says, saying innocent until proven guilty gets a lot of downvotes. Januska says, saying people who are pro-life don't hate women. Completely dishonest argument. No one that isn't pro-choice believes it, and yet for some reason, it's prevalent as hell. Engineering Virgin says, cream cheese and jelly sandwiches are fire. Sprinkler of Salt says, that being environmentally conscious and having kids are not at odds with one another. Stoned Fishing says, like it or not, hunting and trapping are critical to supporting the natural environment as well as our economy. Dan says, it was the story of a girl with an overweight boyfriend who decided to hit the gym. A week later during a call she said, so, you bought yet? Like it was meant to be a joke, and he was offended. I said he was overreacting. A guy came and said I couldn't understand and was being insensitive. I said I know from experience that you need to be able to laugh at your body if you're fat, because else you behave like a child, like the boyfriend did. He mocked me for knowing from experience and started to make fun of my weight. Wasn't he the one who defended not being rude to fat people or something? Dubladorf says, I still have it. Reddit is full of mostly white, mostly male kids from the suburbs who get overly offended when they see opinions they aren't used to. Drifson says, Revan was designed as female and they swapped her gender at some point prior to the release of the game. It used to be documented on Wikipedia in the before times, but not anymore. Horace_the_mute says, my opinion that a master of a D&D isn't there to also play and have fun, but must work to deliver a compelling RPG experience, get people riled up. It's an inconsequential argument in the larger scope of things, but I have strong feeling about it. r/AskReddit. DuCaterpillar4845 says, what is your favorite part of your current job? Isabella Milgrapella says, clocking out. Natalie West says, people smarter than me. cmeal7989 says, a colleague who shares many interests with me. CTX800 Beta says, machinist here. My job is to turn boring, rusty lumps of metal into shiny cool machine parts through the most satisfying techniques, turning milling, and since I'm in road it's something new every day. Saki85 says, 14 weeks paid parental leave, which I'm currently on. As a dad. Barcode Ninja says, exercise. Pablo _the_cat says, it kills time easily. I have to constantly be thinking and doing stuff physically, and that makes time just fly by. It can be a double-edged sword, but that's way better than constantly be waiting for work to be over. Christina Clean says, the weekend. Iron Chariot says, not doing anything but relaxing, because I got laid off, and I'm cruising on my severance until I start my next job. This would be stressful, but I've already accepted a new one that pays better, just waiting to start. Renota 2023 says, I learn a lot from very experienced people, and I enjoy my population. The Pain Crafter says, Casino Pit Boss, close tie between the celebrities I have met and the women on a Saturday night. Pecan 603 says, I work in a hospital and we have therapy dogs that make rounds to visit patients and staff. I love seeing and petting the dogs when they come by my office. It always brightens my day. KP_off says, telling people they got the job. C. Serval King says, working with the kiddos. Iskuala Hamilton says, leaving. Swibiran says, sharing an office with my wife. Seesaw 1 says, the management and the people I work at. Borbit 85 says, driving to and from work is probably the best part of my days now. Mark0123 says, it's a tie between set schedule and bonus pay for extra production. Tarxinogen says, turning bodily fluids into beautiful data. Tax Sister says, co-workers. Sleek_toxic says, dinner time. Nugget_the_croquette says, when they tell me to have mercy. r/AskReddit. Dadboy Nash says, what is the coolest thing you have ever found? Grammarhead Shark says, I once found a 1901 penny with Queen Victoria on it. When I found it, I was like 12. I thought it was the coolest thing as I know she only lived like 3 weeks into the year, so of course I thought it must be rare. Now I learned last year, after QEI passed away, coins for the remainder of the year, and sometimes the following year, if sovereign died late in the year, after a sovereign's death normally are of that person and the new regent doesn't normally take their place on the coins until the year after. Der Covenant says, when I was 10 or so I found 2 Civil War horse bridles, I think that's what they're called, in a dried up creek I was playing in. I showed my dad, and we went to a local museum and you'd told us all about them. We gave one to the guy, and kept the other. I don't know where it is now though. Pioneer Standard says, $40,000. In cash, buried in the bottom of a freezer at a bar I worked in. I was asked to come in on an off day and help clean out the fridges and freezers. The boss had a little bit of a drinking and cocaine problem and forgot that money was hidden there. He gave me $2,000 for being honest and handing it over to him. In his own words, that money was long gone and I never understood some of my financial problems. Most anybody working here would know I forgot it was there, but you were honest and did not take it. Edit, I can't remember his exact words, but it sounded something like that. Dick Ran a Marathon says, appreciation from another human being. Fimontanen says, my dad's porn collection, when I was about 12. Dolly Battaglia says, I discovered a French WWII bayonet while camping. Shaka_Sulu says, my family and I have a bad habit of buying memory sticks, not labeling them, and leave them in desks, junk drawers, cars etc. I needed some luggage, and found a memory stick. Pop it in my computer, and it was files of my dad, who passed away, just doing everyday stuff. It was videos of him shaving, talking about a hurricane that was coming, moving the lawn. I sobbed when I saw this. Release_1234 says, $5 in my packet yesterday. Meester of Panic says, I found a 1901 Indian head penny in a random roll of pennies. It jumped, fell out at me. A few moments later, I opened a roll of dimes. Something happened with a 1954 silver dime. I have a lot of cool coins, but those two made my month. I also once found a 1909 wheat penny. Anitha Orphan says, money. Pawoods12 says, tunnel. Locked_door says, parametering. Laptop Dragon says, snow. Img says, I bought Radiohead's Kidder album at release, and after ripping the disc to MP3s it got stuck in my shelf and gathered dust. Until I saw a discussion over a decade later about the hidden art book in the case, and I was like, wait, what art book? And sure enough, when I removed the tray that held the CD, I found a booklet hidden underneath. A real world Easter egg that had been sitting under my nose for years. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.